See here, and today I'm bringing you a little replay that I played on the Stormgate beta ladder. Um, Now my opponent is EGGZ. He is a high-level Zerg player in StarCraft 2, and the matchup is going to be me on Infernal versus him on Vanguard. So the match starts off pretty normal from him with a Raxor's opening and a Conclave, or a Vault into Conclave from me. A bit of dog harass to start off. He overcharges the barracks. No gas mining from him, so it's probably just going to be a single Lancer. A little fancy micro there with the meat farm, keep it alive. And just dancing around with my workers, trying to keep him from getting any worker kills here. But it doesn't look like he's going to find any damage. Meanwhile, on his side of the map, first Lancer's coming out. He's building a supply depot. And just normal stuff overall. He's looking around, checking to see if I got any cheeky buildings, which I don't. First brute comes out, gonna scare the dog away. Go for the resource camp. Now, I personally like to go for the resource camp, then I'll go for the speed, and then I'll take these two in the middle and look for a little bit of pressure. However, I spot a very early Lancer, which indicates that he does not yet have a command post down. Get the dog pick there, which is very nice. Unfortunately, lose the gaunt, but get a take the wins that you can get. He gets the Fiend kill, but that's not a big deal. Unfortunately, he does get to heal off the flower there, so I'm going to pull back the brute. Meanwhile, he's going for an expansion. I am dropping to our conclaves. So the plan here is that, well, I'm going to go for a conclave all with cons. And we're just doing this little dance, trying to keep my gaunt alive, but unfortunately don't get it. But I do get the Lancer pick, so I guess the trade's even. His command post is now being speed built. My conclaves are still on the way. Saturation just looking pretty standard, pretty much full Luminite, just 2 on Therium. He has absolutely no Therium mining, so it is just strictly Lancers for him for right now. Now I'm going to begin my creeping now that he's finally let off on the pressure. But he's still looking to try to deny me from doing this, but he can see that I've taken it, so he's like, yeah, there's something going on here. Now, it looks like I'm probably going to lose the gaunt here, but it does look like I'm going to lose the gaunt, which is some unfortunate micro for me. The camp really bugging out my attack with AI there, unfortunately. And the brutes are doing okay, bit of a possibly neutral split there. This fight really not looking too great for me. You know, the beams do kind of push him away, and I will get the pick there on that Lancer. So right now we're looking pretty good because we're gonna get the both these Lancers. He hasn't taken his health camps, so he can't actually heal. And at this point, I've decided to continue to rally my gaunts across the map. I'm going for some additional meat farms, and we're going across. Now, I'm gonna come up here and see this turret and think, well, obviously there's no way I'm going to push into a razor turret, so I'm gonna take the creep camps and walk across with some workers to try and break the trees. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Meanwhile, him behind this, taking some more barracks. He's going up to 3 racks. Still no Therium mining, so it is just strictly Lancers for him for right now. Obviously, it's a little unfortunate for me since Lancers are, well, extremely good against Gaunts. But it's alright. A little bit of weird pathing with the worker. but I catch it in time. Do not want to let him see that. Now he does see that there's no expansion down, so obviously he's getting a little suspicious. He's throwing a bunker down on this side, but my workers already arrived, and I have a pretty sizable force. Now he's lost those Lancers from before. He's finally throwing down his biolab, and he's getting his therium mining. And I'm going to throw down 2 shroud stones and get ready to go through the trees. Now I plan to wait here for the shroud stones just so that I have something to retreat to if I either need to regenerate my white health or just to take a better fight, since the Gaunts really are not going to fare too well against the Lancers. The goal here is to just turn as many of his bobs into fiends to sway the fight. Behind this, really nothing going on from my end, just more or less the same, just push. And obviously he used to put bobs to defend, so I look for sniping bobs with my Gaunts, and it's been pretty good. Some bob kills here, likely going to hold it in position. The turret on its own is really not enough here. And I make a bit of an unfortunate decision here, and I decide that I'm going to push into his main. And while it seems good because he already used overcharge, unfortunately, as I'm about to learn, it's off cooldown. And now I'm in a bit of a terrible position here, and with really nowhere to go, I decide I'm just going to take as many bobs down with me as possible, and lose my army. But the battle is not over yet, as I've still rallied some reinforcements across the map, and I've got another shot zone coming up here. So he still is trapped. Obviously his worker count is nowhere near where he wants it to be, but he's not going to be able to break out so easily. His Lancers take quite a bit of damage, and we can still look to keep the pressure up since I do not have an expansion. A little bit of forgetfulness on him. Bobs, but he is looking to now go take the health camp so he can get some health back, and this will provide me with an opportunity to get, I believe, 2 more bob picks here. Yep, 2 more bob picks, so just a little bit of small damage, but everything is important right now. So he's going to sit on the health camp and just try to defend. Now he is back to mining. I am out mining him at the moment. Here I'm kind of catching these bobs out a little bit. Gonna try to get the picks on this. Not sure if I get it. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get it. I get one. One bob pick. So I'll get the second one, I guess. But overall, his Lancer upgrade is finished, so this is no longer favorable. Shroud Stones, really not that great into Lancers either. Now that he's got the upgrade, every little bit of tickle damage that I do is basically just feeding his Lancer strength. But the plan is just more or less the same, just look to overwhelm him. Obviously he is mining a lot less than me, so as the game goes on at this point, I can grow a larger army. This is going to be the issue though. And I decide, I believe, to walk back into the main since I've spotted this now, my reinforcements. Root's still taking some very unfortunate pathing, but we're going to look to get some more bob picks, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it. The overcharge is very, very difficult to deal with. Obviously it negates a lot of damage, and at this point, he is now on my side of the map. He is slowly going to take out my production, but that's really not what's super important to me. I throw down 3 Shroud Stones so that he can't just walk into my main and kill me. And now we're just looking to do some light pressure. The Shroud Stone on the bottom here completely denies all mining from this base, so I can guarantee that at the very least we are on equal mining if I'm not ahead in worker count. Looking to try to get the bob picks through the bounces, but if I can find it. Now here he sees the triple shroud stone, decides it's not worth it. He's going to take out my conclaves. Again, not the biggest of deals. I mean, at this point, gaunts really aren't what I want to be making anyway. So I'm pretty much building a bit of a bank at this point, just kind of deciding what my next move's going to be. And now that he's backed off, I can look to take my expansion here because he's going to be on the defensive since there's really not much he can do into the triple shroud stone. So he's going to try and play defense, and obviously I will eventually lose all these gaunts since there are no more brutes. Due to some very poor pathing decisions by me. Now I see that he's coming back, so I'm going to try to... Well, I'm looking for a bit of damage, but I don't find it. And like I said, the Lancers are just really messing up my plan here. Takes a lot of hits from these gaunts to kill the Lancer. At this point I've decided, okay, I'm going to go for an expansion. And I'll drop some shroud stones to try to keep it alive. And just more pressure. He is looking to health camp again so he can get all that health back. And at this point, it's not looking too good for me. His Lancer Ball is really starting to build up, and he's going to break out. So here I'm going to lose my gaunts, and his Lancer is pushed through. He's going to clean up the Shroud Stones. Shroud Stones is not that great into Lancers. And, well, really there's not too much that I'm able to do at this point other than hope and pray. So he's going to march across. I'm trying to add an additional Shroud Stone since I know he's coming across, but there's really not much I can do. And I'm going to try to go for a greater shrine, but I realize that putting it on my natural probably isn't the best idea. I'm trying to focus down the Lancers one at a time so I can get the picks. At this point, there's just so many Lancers that it's just not worth it. These shreds just do not do anything. Decide to pop a instant recharge to get 3 brutes just so I can defend my main. And I'm going for an upgrade on my shrine to greater shrine. Now at this point, he is definitely going to take the economic lead since he has his expansion up and he's now dead. So we're pretty much just banking on the dragon. Since all of his army is Lancers, the dragon would be able to win the game in theory. But I don't have enough Animus at this point since I used it to create the brutes. So I'm going to try to sneak around into the camps. Now fortunately he decides to take the health camp before re-pushing since, well, he hadn't really considered the fact that I could have a dragon soon. From his point of view, the game is pretty much over in his favor and he's won. But I beg to differ. So now I use the 2 brutes that I have. Try to get more Animus. I'm 20 short at this point. Meanwhile, he's got his 3rd base up. His natural is almost completely resaturated. And his production, he's bringing it back up to 3 racks. I mean, he's pretty safe at this moment. He could even take a 4th. And he knows that I'm on 1 base. And so, I believe with this camp here, yep, there it is. Finally, I get enough Animus to build the dragon, and at this point, I need to immediately walk across the map. Now, he's going to see this, and obviously he needs to counterattack, because he can't allow this. You know, he has no counterplay of the dragon, so his only hope now is to kill me. Now, my plan is to just use the Dragon Infest to make an army of fiends. Back at home, I'm using everything I've got to try to defend. Obviously, has some really undecorated Lancer, just kind of aiding his upgrade. But my dragon is doing a lot of work, a lot of fiends spawning, killing his buildings. And at this point, it's a base race. Now I need to use the dragon to kill out his exos. Pretty much the only way that he can deal with the dragon, since there will be no air units from him, since he has not upgraded his command post. I'm on a bit of a time limit though, since he's got six lancers in my base. But we're running quite a bit of a fiend army here. And I decide that I have enough fiends to do considerable damage that he won't be able to recover from, and I'm going to bring the dragon home. And sure enough, I killed a majority of his mobs here. I believe he might clear this up. Maybe not without losing all mobs. Okay, one bot lives. Meanwhile, back at home, I need to use the dragon to defend. Now the dragon does use its infest. I'm sorry, its infest does spawn 2 fiends instead of 1. So I can generate a sizable amount of fiends rather quickly with the dragon. So my goal is to just pick off one by one. Obviously, the dragon does quite a bit of damage against the lancers. But I really can't move back across the map until I've killed this, and unfortunately I'm just not aware of these 2 bases up here. But at this point, I am not mining at all. There's no Luminite left in my main, and I have nowhere near enough money to expand, even if I were to go out creeping. So I decide that the best course of action is to just ignore the camps and just go for the kill. Now the only thing is that I have to kill these lancers, otherwise they will walk across the map and kill my main, and I'll be dead. So I use the dragon, just doing this little dance of me trying to kill his remaining lancers with the dragon. Meanwhile, he's trying to get any amount of exos he can, but with the amount of mobs that he's lost, he's not going to be able to get a sizable amount of exos that will be able to kill the dragon for quite some time. He actually is very unlucky and loses an exo. 3. Oh, every amount of exos that he loses right now is very bad for him. And I clean up the lancers. At this point, he's pretty much in big trouble. Now I'm gonna look for more damage, since I really don't know exactly what he's got. But I do know that he's got the base up here, so I'm just gonna try to get picks. Obviously the turret is good, but it's not enough to deal with the dragon. And I'm just using the dragon to snipe all the exos since they're not prepared. Now that his exo count's been reset, I can just generate another army of fiends. Once again, dragon. Every infest is 2 fiends instead of 1. So I generate a nice ball of fiends. And at this point, I can kill him off. Now I'm not aware of this base, but he only has 4 workers mining, so there's no way that he'll be able to generate enough income for exos that will be able to kill the dragon. I'm going to kill these workers over here. Nice. Meanwhile, quite literally nothing is happening in the base. I generated a Shroud Slinger using the top bar ability, and the Fell Hogs are also here, so even if he were to walk across with 1 Lancer like he is now, he's not going to be able to kill him. point, he's got pretty much all in on the Exos. But there are a million fiends now, and I have spotted his base. I'm going to come in here with the dragon. Obviously, I don't want to lose the dragon. Exo turret is quite a bit of damage. It goes down to the fiends, and at this point, it is just a dance, waiting for my dragon abilities to come back up. Regenerate my white health. And now I can make my fiends, which will end up killing the Exos. With just a sliver of health left, he now has no anti-air. And KGG's out. Meanwhile, behind this, I have one long-distance mining imp, but I was victorious. All right, and well, that's the replay. Thanks for watching, guys.